On behalf of Shri Swami Shikshan Prasarak Mandals, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I welcome all the honorable dignitaries and participants here for the national webinar. The topic of today's national webinar is Nurture Nature. As you know very well, the college has been conducting a long series of national and international webinars. These webinars are on different topics related with various fields. The central idea of the webinar is women empowerment, women dignity and environmental conservation. The objectives of the webinar series are to give and take knowledge, to enrich knowledge and to have intellectual discussions among the participants so that answers to the questions and solutions to the problems can be found, which can benefit the individuals, the society and the nation. The webinar series is going on very successfully without any interruption, and it is due to the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Ambedkar Sir, and moral support of the institution. In the beginning of this webinar, I welcome him as the chairperson of this webinar. I am very happy to inform all the audience that today we have the honorable dignitary and keynote speaker, Meraj Fatima ma'am, who is lecturer in Botany at Government Degree College, Siddipet. The college is autonomous college. The keynote speaker is going to enlighten us on the topic Nurture Nature. On behalf of the organizing committee of webinar series Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I heartily welcome you ma'am as an invited speaker. I also welcome all honorable organizing committee members including Vice Principal Dr. S. D. Misal Sir, Junior College Supervisor Ravindra Karanje Sir, MCVC Supervisor Praveen Udge Sir, IQAC Coordinator Dr. Sanjay Kali Sir, Dr. Anita Dhole Ma'am, Dr. Sudhir Garad Sir, Ambadas Khillari Sir, Dr. Patwari Sir and Dr. Wadkar Sir. We all are waiting here for the keynote speech to be started by the honorable speaker, but prior to it, it would be pertinent to have the introduction of the honorable speaker. So I request Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am for the introduction of the chief guest. Please ma'am, welcome.
Thank you sir. Good evening everyone. You are welcome to this grand national and international webinar series on occasion of Golden Jubilee year of the college. Shri Kumarswami Mahavidyalaya Ausa has organized a wonderful grand knowledge sharing webinar series with the aim of women empowerment and women dignity. I am very thankful to respected principal for giving me this opportunity to introduce a resource person on this virtual platform. Many special thanks goes to all the respected organizing committee members and big thanks to all the respected participants. Those are joining very regularly from all over India and abroad also, and they are making this series a very successful series. So it's my pleasure. I am here to introduce today's keynote speaker, Honorable Meraj Fatima ma'am, who is lecturer in Botany at Government Degree College Autonomous Siddipet from Telangana. Title of speech is Nurture the Nature. She is working as a lecturer at Government Degree College. She has total 12 years of work experience. She is pursuing PhD at Osmania University in subject plant physiology. She is BOS member in Urdu department and a member in National Teachers Organization in Life Sciences. She is editorial member for the 11 international journals. She has published a number of research papers on national and international level. She got All India Ideal State Teachers Award, DKRF, that is International Excellence Teaching in Higher Education Award, and also got National Foundation for Entrepreneurship Development Young Women Educator Award. So after this brief introduction, I request today's keynote speaker, Honorable Meraj ma'am, please start your speech. Thank you. Welcome ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your kind words, Anita ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Whitaker sir, for inviting me and giving me a great opportunity to be here on this great platform. Can I start, sir? No?
Yes, madam. Yes, you can start, madam.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Sir, my screen is visible?
Yes, visible.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Once again, good evening to everyone. Now, today I am going to discuss on this topic, nurture the nature. So, it's a broad aspect, nurture the nature. I took this topic, though I belong to Botany department, so I am very close, I feel very close to nature. So I have took this topic, nurture the nature, means how we can protect our environment. See here, this is the content on which today we are going to get some more enlightening the points on these areas regarding nurture the nature definition, introduction to the environment, natural resources, what are the types of natural resources, conservation of natural resources, protection of environment, practices for environment protection by the government, and law of environment protection. So these are the topics on which we are going to enlighten today. So first see here, nurture the nature. These are the definition where nurture, to take care of and protecting someone or something, especially young children or plants, and help him, her or it to develop. And nature, we all know that the phenomenon of the physical world collectively, including plants, animals, and landscape and other features and products of the earth. So, nurturing something, if we want to nurture something, means it requires more attention. For example, when a mother is going to take care of her child, then she is always conscious that she don't want to leave any of the area in which her child is going to be face some difficulty. She always there to help her child. If we want to nurture our own nature where we people are going to live, God has created the nature very beautifully. So all the animals, plants, and everything, every creature which is present here on the earth, those all comes under the nature. So if we people believe that it's our prime duty to take care about the nature, then how much conscious we are going to be, isn't it? If a mother is can perform different roles to take care of their children or performing the job or doing some other works, if she is going to activate, if she is going to involve in different activities, then also she doesn't want to leave any of the area where her child is going to feel lonely or bad. Same here in the nature, as when we are going to live in the early morning, when you are going to visit some areas where the beautiful plants are there. If you just went in the morning for the morning walk, then what you are going to observe? You are going to observe a peaceful environment there. Automatically, this environment is going to just give you a very, very pleasant feeling. Like when a person is going to just make himself or herself close close to the nature, then always he'll get relaxed. In nowadays, we are having so much of the stress in our work. When we are just putting ourselves in any kind of work, automatically we are facing some of the stress. If you make yourself close to the nature, automatically you can get relaxed very easily. So here what I want to show that we have to be close to our nature and we have to protect the nature by which we are getting so much of peaceful. Then it's our duty to protect the nature also. Now in the nature, that is nothing but the environment. So here the term environment has been derived from a French word environner, means to surround. It refers to both abiotic, physical or non-living, and biotic, living environment. The word environment means surrounding in which organisms live. Environment and the organisms are two organized and complex components of nature. Environment control the life of the organisms, including human beings. So, in the environment where we people are living, the surrounding of our earth, this is having all the complex combinations of physical, living and non-living things are there, which all together means in the term of biology we can say abiotic and biotic components are there, which are going to be form this environment. When we are going to be attached with our environment, when we are taking some of the benefits from the environment, automatically what we are going to do, anyhow the environment is going to control. The environment is going to be linked with our daily activities. Now the organisms means those living or biotic or abiotic organisms, these are present in the environment. When the complex components of the nature are there, what it is going to control the life of the organisms. In the organisms only we human beings are also included. So in the environment, when we are seeing all those creatures, all those physical, non-living things and living things, all are present. Among that, human beings also one of them. These all are going to be linked with that. So here, a green and clean environment is important to live healthy life. As the major part of the environment is there in human beings' life, always we want a healthy environment, a clean and green environment. Nowadays, again these terms, we are hearing so much, go green, clean and green. Like these terms are coming into enlightened by the government. They are also just stressing on these things. Why? We must stop and avoid using poly and plastic bags and use eco-friendly items to save the atmosphere. We can easily save our environment for the next generation in several ways by accepting and adopting simple lifestyles. Promoting digital technology will save more paper used that are made from the natural resources like wood. Finest wood pulp is used in the paper industries. See here, if we are living in an atmosphere, for example, if we are just living in our home, what we want, always we want to clean and make it very appreciable by the other persons. So we always try to maintain and we just need the cleanliness. Same like that, when we are living in the environment, when we are just utilizing the resources which are present in the nature, at the same time, it's our own prime duty to make that environment also green and clean, and that has to be healthy. Then automatically, if the environment, the surrounding of us is good, then we people also live our life happily and healthy. So in the olden days, where the usage of plastic bags and polythene bags are less, that time the situations are quite different compared to nowadays. If you are going to observe, if you are going to visit any shop, what you are going to see first, always he is going to give your items which you are going to purchase. Those items he is going to keep in the plastic bags. So we all know that the usage of poly and plastics were very harmful for the environment. So what we can do, we can make these, we can replace this with the eco-friendly type of items which can be reusable. Those items we can take and we can avoid such things which are becoming very harmful for the human beings. So automatically, if something is affecting on the environment, though we are related with the environment, we are living on the earth, we are taking the benefits from the nature, automatically if we are any imbalancement in the living chain, if we are making this harmful, that is going to come back to us. So what we have to do, we have to utilize more eco-friendly items to keep the atmosphere safe. Then only our next coming generations by generation, they can also be happily, they can also live in the environment happily. So here you can see now during the pandemic, at the time of pandemic, where if we are going to talk about the education sector, where every institution is not going to work in a physical condition, that time we have promoted the online technology. In the online mode only we have took the classes. We have also delivered the lectures to the students. We have conducted the classes in online mode only. So with that, what automatically happened, though starting they faces some of the problems to understand the concepts, but later they got habituated. By that utilization, simply we have delivered all those lectures with the digital technology. So like this, if we want to transfer some of the notes to the students also, then automatically we have sent many of the notes in the PDF forms. Not only the notes, total for the record, practical records, we have just made that convert into the PDF format and we have transferred the student. Then easily they have gone with that and they completed the exams. So actually paper, the usage of paper is more when we are going to attend the physical mode classes. So for making the paper also, different type of wood pulp is going to be used. As wood we have to get from the trees, and for this condition also, as plant comes under the natural resource, so what we have to do, we can plant more plants, we can do the plantation, but instead of just wasting the paper more, what we can do, we can go for the digital technology. So okay, is it okay sir, my voice, everything? Yes, okay, thank you sir, thank you. Now see here, natural resources. What are the natural resources which are present in the environment? You can see here, natural resources are resources that are drawn from nature and used with few modifications. These include the sources of valued characteristics such as commercial and industrial use, aesthetic value, scientific interest, and cultural value. On Earth includes sunlight, atmosphere, water, land, all minerals, along with all vegetation and animal life. So whenever we are utilizing the source which is present by nature, as we always want to make our lives in a comfort zone, so just with a little modification in the natural resource, what we are going to do, we are just utilizing that. Maybe on the commercial base or in the industries we are going to use, or in the scientific area we are going to use all these natural resources. So naturally, if you are going to observe how we came to know that the morning condition means always within that, if sun is going to rise, the morning time is going to be started. So the sunlight or atmosphere, water and the land area, different type of minerals and the vegetation which all are present, this all comes under in the natural resources which we are utilizing for our daily life. So there are two types of natural resources are there. One is renewable natural resource and another is non-renewable natural resource. So first you see here, yes, this is in which you can see clearly two resources, different types are there. One is non-renewable and renewable natural resource. Non-renewable means resource that can only be used once. That is called as non-renewable. Again, in that, resources that are consumed when used, which is going to be get consumed. Example is coal, and the resource that can be exhausted by overuse. If you are going to overuse that, that resource is going to be get exhausted. Again, in the renewable resources, resources that can be used over and over and again. We can use so many times. That is called as renewable resources. In the renewable resources, these are always available like wind and water, and the resources that can be recycled, for example metals. You can see here in this diagram where you are going to see the water is present. We are going to utilize water in different activities in daily life. At the same time, just beneath of the water also, again from the soil, different type of oils can be obtained, and those oils are going to be utilized for the energy fuel purpose. Now the forest areas which are having many of the trees, and from the trees number of benefits we are utilizing for our daily life. So the wood is going to be obtained, and which are going to be utilized for the preparation of different type of furnitures. For the food purpose, different plant species are going to be used as a food. For preparation of the medicines, like we are going to obtain different chemicals from the plants, as every plant is having some of the important medicine chemical is present in that, and those chemicals are going to be utilized for the medicine preparation. The pulp of the trees plants are going to be used for paper making, and different type of again so many different cotton, or for the purpose of different recreation of home of wildlife also we are utilizing the plant trees. Now here the rocks also having the utilization for the construction of shelter, otherwise from the minerals, different jewelry, glass or cans, ceramics are going to be obtained. Soil is very important in India especially. We know that majority of our economic is depend on the agriculture. So with the agriculture, it's a basic need of everyone on agriculture. Many of the people depend for their daily income, as well as we all are going to be utilize the benefits which is going to be given by the farmers. So agriculture is helping us in two ways. One, to make the economy of the country, as well as for the daily life, the expenditures of the daily life human beings. Next, with the animals also we are going to obtain that we are going to utilize with in different aspects for the purpose of food or purpose of making some different type of items. So natural resource, what is the natural resource? How it is going to be linked with the environment? As we know that the resource which we are utilizing for our benefit, though that is present in the nature, if we are utilizing, maybe the time is going to be come when the next generation is not going to be utilize those things. So we have to get alert now. While again coming generations also have to use these means, we have to be somewhat conscious how much we are going to use, what things again after our usage that can be remained, and what things are not going to be remained and they are becoming exhausted. So what we have to do, if we know the difference between the renewable and non-renewable resources, then only we can make sure that how much of the percentage we can utilize, and an unnecessary usage of that we have to stop. So renewable resources, these resources can be reused or renewed. Second, these resources have components such as air, water, sunlight and wind. So these all comes under the renewable resources. The rate of the renewable energy is greater than the rate of getting exhausted. Most of the renewable resources are environmentally friendly and do not cause pollution. They are non-conventional resources. So the air, water or sunlight or wind which is present in the nature, when we are going to use, again we can utilize these sources, and these are not going to become exhausted. With the at the same time, see here non-renewable resources. These resources cannot be renewed once used. These have components like LPG gases, fossil fuels. The rate of renewal of such resources is slower than the rate of getting exhausted. They cause pollution. They are the conventional resources. So when we talk about the renewable resources, as by our again usage, we are going to get that in more amount. There is no problem for that. But here in the non-renewable resources, as we are going to use, these can be get exhausted. So we have to be careful while we are going to use these renewable and non-renewable energy resources. Now, what is the need to conserve these natural resources? Many resources are present in the nature. If suppose we are not going to control that conservation, then what is going to happen? And what is the main need behind the conservation? So conservation means nothing but protecting them. Natural resources and their conservation, it is highly important that we conserve these natural resources since they are getting exhausted at an alarming rate. Apart from that, it has an adverse effect on the environment that is indirectly causing harm to living beings. However, if we follow some tips in our day-to-day lives, we can conserve these natural resources, use an alternative source of power like solar and wind energy, plant more trees for preventing the soil erosion. So, as the natural resources are present in a great amount and we are using so many sources, all the natural resources, but as the usage is becoming more and the population rate is high, so what is happening now? The time is going to come. The time is coming as it is getting at the alarming rate. So what we have to we have to be very alert and we have to follow some of the alternates. Instead of utilizing the power, we can also use the solar and wind energy. And what we can do, we can save more as for the next generations. So here, use pipelines for transporting oil freight, the industry sewage and the wastage even before they get released into the water bodies. Include the rainwater harvesting system in the house. Otherwise, next, use biogas in the house. Use biofuels instead of the conventional petroleum-based fuels. Ensure that the waste are being recycled. So, instead of going with the common which techniques we are following nowadays, instead of going with those practices, what we can do, we can be more favor to the environment. If we are going to apply simple things like before the wastage which is going to come from the industries, why? Because those waste water, it is going to have the combination of different type of chemicals in that. If that is going to release into the water bodies, automatically it is going to pollute that water. So we have to be careful, and we have, before this is going to involve in the water bodies, again if there are some chances are there, again the sewage treatment has to be done. Then we can make that it has to be released into the water bodies without any kind of harmness. So here, how we can protect the environment? There are simple things are there. Just I want to enlighten a few of that which we can do practice in our day-to-day lives. So this is first what we can do. As some of these are the why I took the images here. So whatever as human psychology, if suppose we are going to utilize our 3 more senses among the 5-6, then you are utilizing this sense, we will remember for more time the vision, as well as when we are going to see something, then automatically the image is going to be set in our mind and we will remember this for more time. Okay, so first see here, this is one practice we can do: reduce, reuse and recycle. The 3 R's rule. This is called as the 3 R's rule: reduce, reuse and recycle. One of the best thing what we can do means, whenever any kind of waste material is going to be present, as after the usage of day-to-day life, many things we are going to be used, whatever the waste we are going to throw, always we have to follow some of the rule, as nowadays many of the practices are going to be done by the government. Government is just promoting regarding the collection of wastage. They are collecting from the houses daily, and I'm proud to say that here in Siddipet, especially from the municipality area side, they are collecting the waste of the home waste daily. They are collecting, and always they are taking into different forms, and what they are doing, they are taking that for the recycle purpose, and Siddipet municipality also got award for this, and many of the different for the Swachh selection awards also Siddipet municipality has selected. So here what we can do, we can collect all these whatever the wastage is there, it can be collected and it is going to be utilized. Again, if the recycle process is there, the separation of the wastage is going to be carried out, and by applying this technique, automatically what is going to happen, we can make our environment clean. Instead of combining all the waste, if we are going to make that separate and we are going to give to the municipality members, they are going to go with the recycle process, and again that is going to be get utilized. So here also whatever the degradable and non-degradable products are there, if we are going to separate them into dustbins, it will be very easy to perform the process. And see here, we always go for the shopping wherever you go, not only for the buying any kind of clothes, something like that, but if you went to the grocery shop also, you are going to see the more usage of the plastic bags. So always they are going to give you all those your contents which you have been purchased, they are going to hand over you in the plastic bags. So if you will become a little conscious about the environment health, then what you can do, instead of taking those plastic bags, you can go with the reusable bags. So if we substitute the plastic bags with the reusable bags, if you will go for the different type of healthy cloth bags, then it will be easy. That these plastics for the we all know that plastics are very harmful, and these are going to cause very serious effects on the environment. And we all know that whenever we are going to went to any kind of tiffin centers somewhere, always they are going to give you the food in the plastic containers. So being a science student, I can say that if you are going to take the food in the hard plastic container, then always it can be react with this chemicals automatically, which is going to cause the cancer. So different type of mutagens are going to be occur, and the cancer is going to lead to cause the cancer. So we can't say that no, it is not going to cause cancer. But of course, based on the hardness of the food, there is always danger to consume the food which is present in the plastic. So make sure that avoid the plastic usage, not only in your shopping purpose, but also when you are going to visit to the tiffin center and you are going to carry the tiffin. So here in that also the quality maintenance, for that also government is initiating different type of schemes to ban those plastics which are not degradable. So go with that and follow simple rules to make your life healthy. Now one more practice what we can do to keep our environment healthy, as being as a volunteer for cleanups in your community. You can get involved in protecting your watersheds too. So educate, when you further your own education, you can help others to understand the importance and value of our natural resources. So don't think that the making the society clean or keeping all your surroundings clean is only the duty of someone else. Always make sure that you are an educated person, you have that much knowledge that you know what are the problems can occur if you are not going to keep your surroundings clean. So how you want to keep your home very clean and pleasant for the persons who are the visitors, otherwise for your own purpose, if you are making that very pleasant, in the same manner the surroundings where you are present, educate the persons who don't know. Many of the persons are habituated, when they are going to consume any kind of food, they are going to throw those covers. First, that is the plastic covers. Everything is coming in the plastic bags, plastic covers, and they after consuming those things, they are just throwing that on the roads. This is not a good practice. So make sure that if you are going to follow simple rules, then automatically your small step towards the healthiness of our environment, it can change the total environment. So what you can do, you can educate the persons who are just surrounding to you, as well as you can just as a volunteer, you also involve yourself to make it clean. See here, again, for making the environment healthy, we can just plant more trees. Especially in Telangana government, our Honorable CM KCR sir, he has started Harita Haram scheme. In this scheme, many of the plants are going to be planted yearly, and not only in that, always they are taking care about those plants for watering them. Why? Because it's a big task. After planting a tree, your duty is not going to get over. Again, you have to take care about the plant as how you are going to nurture your child. Same like you have to nurture the plant. From the small plant, it has to grow into a big tree, means it will take a great time. So when we are going to plant more trees, more planting is automatically going to make the environment healthy automatically. Why? Because you will get fresh oxygen, as oxygen is our basic requirement. You all know that without oxygen, human beings are not going to survive. Though if suppose you skip one time of your food, maybe you are not going to feel any kind of tiredness that much. If you are not going to take oxygen, then what is going to happen? You are unable to survive. So oxygen is the basic need. At the same time, when we are consuming the oxygen, and as well as from the plants only, we are getting different species which we are utilizing as our food. So now the oxygen is total free of cost for us. When you went early morning, when we will go for the walk, that time without any kind of pollution, you can just breathe out very freely. You can inhale the oxygen which is very fresh. So it's my sincere request to everyone, just if we plant a tree after every 6 months or in a year also, then there are so many trees are going to be there for our next upcoming generation, and they can also live a healthy life. So here approximately it has given that 2 mature trees can provide enough oxygen for a family of 4 members. So planting the trees is the best practice for making our environment very healthy and clean. See here, just in the earlier only I said about this. Going digital helps in reducing excess paper waste and save trees, and use paperless option for bills and write-ups, print on both sides of the paper, send big files in digital format, and replace sticky notes and notepads with whiteboards to reduce the impact on our trees. We all know that for making the paper, always the usage of the plant wood pulp is going to be used. So instead of usage of more paper, we can go with the different alternate things. We can go with the digital things, and we can save our trees. Next, conserve water. The less water you use, the less runoff and waste water that eventually end up in the ocean. So we from the morning, when you wake up early in the morning, the time you start to get ready yourself for the daily activities, first your need is water. Without water, you can't imagine that you are going to be get ready and you are going to leave for your office or any other work. So while you are doing simple things, early morning from the time to brush, bath, or you are doing some other activities, then always think that don't waste the water. We people always try that to chit chat with some persons or some in other activities we are going to involve ourselves and we are going to complete our brush like that. So please don't do such practice. Here just I am telling as casual. So here what we have to do, we have to be careful. If we single person from our side, as what a sentence is there in Hindi, I can say that boon boon se dariya banta hai. So if we will save a single drop of water, then it can become an ocean. So here what does it means? If you are going to just leave your tap with a drop of water and you are going to leave your house for your office purpose, the time when you enter, you are going to see that the bucket which has been kept just beneath that is going to be get filled. So like that, please don't waste water and try to use the water which is going to be as the waste from your own house, that can be utilized for the giving water to the plants also, if it is possible. So we can do so many different practices for that. I am not elaborating all those practices here. Why? Because that takes more time. Just I am going as a casual. Now here nowadays there are so many industries are there. We know that from the industries, when we are going to take different benefits as for the technology purpose, if we are making we are getting the products from the industries, at the same times due to the more usage of those technologies, techniques and the different chemicals, if the water or the components which are going to be released by the industries, if it is going to be just added in the fresh water bodies or any other water bodies, then it is going to pollute that whole water. So in the water bodies also different again creatures are going to live, as we know that in the oceans or in the seas there are the fishes which are going to be stay there. So automatically it is going to cause damage to their life, and so be careful whenever you are going to release any kind of waste water. So without treated that water has not to be added in the water bodies, and untreated sewage has to be controlled. Then only we can stop the polluting of our water bodies. So what is the need for the conserving the environment? Now how we can conserve the nature as well as how we can conserve the environment. Conservation of nature is an act of protecting the planet Earth for present and future generation. The most obvious reason for conserving the environment is to protect wildlife and promote diversity. Promoting wildlife and preserving the species must be the utmost concern, as future generation may not be able to witness them, which is disturbing, as we have diversity in species and we should strive to maintain a healthy and functional ecosystem. Some species cannot survive without the intervention of humans in their natural habitats, such as zoos and aquariums. See here, on the planet, when we are going to see about, we are talking about the earth on which we are going to live our life happily by utilizing different resources. If we are causing harm to their life, then automatically one by one the species which are present on the earth, they are going to get damaged, and the time is not so far that this all can become as extinct. So before that is going to happen, what we can do, we can be get alert more, and we have to control, we have to conserve these species, different species, as here to live in the environment very friendly. There are some different type of ecosystems are running. If we want to live our life healthy and happy, automatically there are some different type of food chains are carrying out. Different organisms, associations are there with each other. By like that, their coordination and combinations, the food web and food chains are continuing. So in this way, if we are going to preserve those species causing any kind of harmness, then automatically we can promote that, and these wildlife species can be sustained for more time. So we have to keep all these wildlife in a healthy way by conserving them. Conservation of nature is important as it has a great impact on human health, both in terms of preventing and emergence of the infectious diseases, Having a wild habitat prevents the transmission of infectious diseases from animal to humans. One such example is the outbreak of novel coronavirus, which was caused by consuming undercooked bat. The virus has infected over 1.9 crores as of 8th August 2022, the data. Humans and the war is still going on. So we all know that when we are talking about the concern regarding the environment health, automatically any kind of imbalancement in the environment due to the activities of the human beings or any creatures, like in the recent only due to the coronavirus only, many of the members they become very conscious about their health. So here what I want to say that if we want to keep our environment healthy, the problem also occurred with the virus, so we won't go in detail, that I took as for the example only. So here if we are going to make ourselves very conscious about our health, then we have to make our environment clean without disturbing the species or creatures which are present in the nature. At the same time, we can also play our role to make the environment healthy, and we can get more benefit for us as well as for our upcoming generation. A lot of medicines that we use as humans are derived from the chemicals that are produced by animals and plants. Therefore, by conserving and protecting nature, we can save ourselves, as they also produce anti-cancer drugs and other medicines that are used on humans. So basically, to survive on the planet, we need to protect nature. It is in our best interest to preserve nature, because the exploitation of the natural habitat will amount to scarcity in the supply of food and water, and things like pollution directly have adverse effect on humans. So on Earth, so many plants are there, and those plants which are present on the Earth, each one is called as a medicinal use best plant. Of course, as per the research, one by one the chemicals which are present in the plants, that is going to be enlightened, and on those chemicals, different chemicals are there which are going to be used in the preparation of drugs or medicines, and these medicines are nothing but these are going to be utilized by the human beings to treat different type of diseases. So as we know that now, before the coronavirus, cancer on that drugs, the treatment for the cancer still that is not in a great successful manner. So for the producing the anti-cancer drugs also, the scientists, they are working and they are getting the different type of chemicals from the plants, and they are just converting them into the medicines for treatment of the disease. So here, when we are going to utilize the plants in a various aspects, as the plants are the basic source for the medicines, for food, for everything. We are dependent too much on the plants, as from the oxygen which you are going to consume to that the food you are going to consume, those all is only with the help of the plants only. So in the plants we can get so many different type of chemicals, and those chemicals are going to be utilized by the people to just convert them into the medicines. And here if we are not going to preserve the nature, as for the purpose to construct different type of buildings, maybe that is industry areas, otherwise homes for construction, if we are going to just remove the forest area, then automatically it is going to show adverse conditions on the human beings. So here I have just showed a few plants. There are number of plants which are having the medicinal benefits, but here the routine in our routine life, what the tulsi plant, which many of the persons are going to just early morning they are going to do some of the puja around that tulsi plant. And not only that, if suppose anyone is going to feel some of the cold and cough, then also just taking the leaves of the tulsi plant and chewing that, it is going to get relief with that. Like that, neem also comes under the one medicinal based plants, as it is going to be utilized for different type of treatments of the diseases, and quickly it is going to get relief with that problem. So here like that, we are having so many plants are there, but here I just showed a few which are very common in our daily life, which we can see in our surroundings. Another is aloe vera is there, which is also called as kalabanda. So as for the purpose of any kind of burning and wound healing, directly this aloe vera can be used, as well as it can be also used for the preparation of different type of creams for the purpose of the beautification. It is also going to be used. So turmeric, we all know that whenever some person is going to get suffer with the cold and cough, then they are going to always they are going to suggest to take the milk with a small pinch of the turmeric. So as nothing but turmeric is having the what we can say that it is having small curcumin. This can be help against the damage, as well as it is having the vitamin D, and it also going to be utilized for the purpose of stimulation the digestion, as well as for the booster the liver function. So many like that different ashwagandha and so many again plants are there which are going to be used in the daily life for the purpose of small treatment, which persons can use as per their knowledge. From otherwise from their grannies they are going to suggest it, from their grannies or grandmother they are going to suggest, and these plants are going to be utilized for the purpose of treatment of diseases. So what are the practices which is government performing for the protection of the environment? So as what I enlightened in the starting, those are just what we can do to save our nature. Now what steps already government is implementing, what government is suggesting. See here, World Nature Conservation Day is going to be observed on July 28th every year across the world to create awareness of natural resources, conservation and protect nature. With the rise in the level of deforestation and losing wildlife, conservation of nature has become a top priority. In India, due to the rise in urbanization, issues like loss of forest cover, pollution and loss of wildlife has increased. The government has taken initiation to resolve the situations. So, the vision of creating Nagar Van Udyan scheme is to develop at least one city forest in each city, having municipal corporation or class 1 cities to accommodate a wholesome health environment and contribute to the growth of clean, green and sustainable India. Its objective is to create 200 cities forest in the country and to create awareness about the plants and biodiversity. Conservation education to the people who are unaware of the damage that can happen due to their ignorance in the conservation of nature. So in India, almost every time the government is implementing the practices which are going to favor the nature for the conservation purpose. So for the municipal corporations, Nagar Van Udyan scheme, they have been started, and in each city for the purpose to plant more trees, and again to take care about that the conservation, they are educating the people who are unaware that they are damaging it directly or indirectly to the environment. From the government side, they are making the practices and they are just educating them. Waste management under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, a mass movement initiated by the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi in the year 2014. The Abhiyan motives lie in the cleanness of the environment. He hopes to create a sense of responsibility among the citizens to help achieve Mahatma Gandhi's aim for clean India. The main objective of the Abhiyan is to recover resources for utilization through recycling and creating employment in the process. So here our Prime Minister Narendra Modi sir has initiated Swachh Bharat Abhiyan as our to educate us about the cleanliness, what is the need of the cleanliness, to educate everyone and how to reuse the resources utilization and how to recycle them, and what process can obtain. And suppose with these processes also is involving all the persons for the employment base, as for the employment purpose, if someone is going to come forward like that also, they are going to get educated and the waste management is going to be controlled. So in the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, everyone is participating in that, and we are making our Bharat Swachh and clean. Project Tiger has been the most successful environmental project by the government. Project Tiger was adopted in the year 1973 to improve the decreasing number of tigers in India. It is a scheme sponsored by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, and assists the tiger states for tiger conservation. The objectives of the projects are to protect and restore habitat, monitor them day-to-day, development for local people, and relocation of the people from the habitats of the tiger. So, like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and for the cleaning purpose, here also as this wildlife, the species tiger, for that also environment from the government side, they have just kept one environmental project to save the tigers, and in that practice also those persons who are present in the habitat areas of the tiger, for them the relocation is going to be takes place, and eco-friendly environment is going to be created, and natural habitat environment is going to be created for the living purpose of the tigers. The Government of India initiated the National Wetland Conservation Program to conserve and make acute use of wetlands in the country. Therefore, preventing its further degradation. The scheme was introduced with the objectives of undertaking extensive conservation measures in the wetlands that need immediate help. So, many of the schemes are going to be practiced by the government just to make the environment healthy. In the wetlands also, the National Wetland Conservation Program has been initiated for the purpose to the wetland preventing and further degradation of them. Next, what is the main laws which has been proposed? See here, environmental protection. What is environmental protection? It is a practice of protecting the environment on individual or organizational or government levels for the benefits of the natural environment and or humans. Protection of the environment is needed due to various human activities. So, we are utilizing the resources which are present in the nature. Though when we are utilizing the resource, we have to be careful. We have not to harm that resource. We have not to pollute that resource. We have to keep that in a healthy way. Then only other next generation can utilize. In this way, an individual has to take care. He has to protect the environment. From the different organizations, they have to take care about this, or the different at the government level also, they have to make sure that they can save the nature. So what is the laws of Constitution by our India? That various acts and laws have been passed in Indian Constitution for conservation of natural resources. What are those? See here, Environmental Protection Act, which is in the year 1986. Then Forest Conservation Act came into light in the year 1980. National Forest Policy Act in 1988, and Wildlife Protection Act in the year 1972, and that has been amended in the year 1991. So these laws, all laws are in favor of the environment, to keep the environment healthy. Government has initiated, and the government has constituted these laws to just save the nature. So what we have to do, just I want to say this. The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. What everyone is going to thought that, and why I should to take care about this. Someone is there, no, they are going to do. Some government is going to appoint to somewhere, or some committees are there, local bodies are there, they are going to do. No, not like that. It's our own prime duty. If you are inhaling, you are taking oxygen, you are living on the earth as a human being, you are getting benefits from the earth, from the nature, then what you have to do in the return? You have to make this healthy. You have to keep this healthy, in good condition. Then only the next generation can be survive. They can live very happily their life. So this is all about my topic. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Karad sir, please hand over the program. From last 1 hour nearly 7.
Yes sir.
Okay.
Now Yes, sir. The keynote speech has been completed by the honorable speaker, and now it is time for all of us. We have the question answer session. So I request participants, if you have any question or doubt, please ask. Participants.
गुड इवनिंग मैम।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
मैम देव सिंह बोल रहा हूँ। मैम आज जो
Once again, I request participants, if you have any doubt, any question, any suggestion, please take part in the discussion.
Jalveer sir,
Hello,
please
ma'am.
continue.
हेलो मैम। मैम जो आज एक प्रचलन है मार्केट में, अखबार के अंदर खाने की चीजें लपेट के दी जा रही है, जैसे समोसा, वड़ा पाव, चपाती, इडली, वड़ा सांभर वगैरह। तो इसका बच्चों पर कितना प्रभाव पड़ सकता है अखबार का? क्योंकि आज अनेक जो अखबार पहले छपता था वो सिर्फ ब्लैक इंक में होता था, लेकिन आज इतनी पिगमेंट्स होती है अखबार में, कलरफुल अखबार होते हैं, तो इसका बच्चों पर क्या प्रभाव पड़ेगा आपके अनुसार?
बच्चों पे इसका प्रभाव पड़ सकता है सर, लेकिन अब यही गवर्नमेंट, फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट साइड, if government is going to implement some of the strict rules also, majority of the people are there who are not going to follow that. For that also government is taking some of the strict activities they are taking. They are just implementing some rules, but we are the people who are not going to follow total things. So it's our own prime duty, as I said that to make our environment cleanly, we can educate some of the person. The person who is selling something, as an educated person, you can just make sure that in a friendly manner, you can just tell him not to waste the papers. That much I can say, sir.
Madam Meraj, I think you are from Siddipet, Government Degree College.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum salam. Yeah, you belong to Karimnagar district?
No, Siddipet is near to Karimnagar, that 70 kilometers far away from Karimnagar, sir.
Yeah, I belong to Karimnagar district. You are my neighbor. I was very happy to see you that you are delivered a very extensive informative lecture on this. But my concern is that having shown so many PowerPoint presentations and you gave very good extensive things to how we can really nurture the nature, how we can really develop our nature. But in reality, how much it is succeeded? Since your Siddipet is constituency of health minister, he is taking care of the Harish Rao. But what about other? There are in Telangana itself. If you come to Hyderabad, where this is located, Gachibowli, beautiful blocks have been destroyed, beautiful trees have been destroyed for the sake of just builders. In such cases, we are not responsible for degrading our own what we call nature. So in this case, what would you suggest as a botanist or environmental specialist?
Okay. Thank you, sir. Badidin, sir. I am always observing in the previous webinars also. You are always there. Your inputs are there regarding their feedbacks. So I would like to say, sir, being the botany student or being the botany faculty, as a teacher is always a learner as a student, which I believe. So here at our college level, from the instructions of our Honorable Commissioner, sir, Naveen Mittal, sir, we are following so many things which are eco-friendly. In our department also we are making those practices, eco-friendly dustbins, doormats, go green, like that we are doing so many different schemes. As that Greater Hyderabad means, if everyone thinks that it's their own prime duty to protect the nature, they have to start from their surroundings only. If everyone think that it is also essential, if they become some little conscious, inshallah the day is not so far that you can see that Hyderabad also going to get the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan award for making the municipality site from the cleanliness, which I thought.
Thank you so much. But anyhow, it is not government. It is initiative from my home. I should start that. That is the only, I think, remedy that all the people of the nation they should take.
हाँ सर, नमस्कार सर. मागे बोललो तुम्ही रोहितला, तसं तर मी ते सॉल्व करतो प्रश्न म्हणले होते, पण त्याने सांगितल्यामुळे मी काय केलं, पुन्हा अजून तो अर्ज म्हणजे चर्चा करून ठेवून दिली. पण आज पुन्हा एक अर्ज टाकला त्यांनी, ते बघतो त्याच्यावर नंबर आहे, मी ट्राय करतो सर. हो सर सांगितलं, पण ते काय होतं, जुने परिचित असतात ना, हेच आहेत मुक्त विद्यापीठाचे, म्हणून ती मदत घेतात दुसरं. हो सर, मी बोलतो मग काय नाही, आत्ताच आलंय 5 मिनिटापूर्वी तुम्हाला देताना, मग विज्ञान झाल्यावर बोलणार होतो, चालू आहे विज्ञान. हो सर, हो सर, हो सर, हो.
For the rural area, yes, yes sir. The thing as what we are going to follow in our surroundings, same thing in a friendly manner. If you are going to tell to any person, it's my own experience that if dominating or ordering something, it is not going to work out. Always try to motivate the persons in a friendly manner. Then always they are going to follow those things. Simple activities are there. First, what we have to think, by if we are going to spoil the environment, our surrounding, automatically that is going to come back to us. If everyone remember this thing, then there is no harm to our environment. We can make our environment very healthy.
Good evening, ma'am. Am I audible?
Good evening, sir. Very good evening, Kadam. Yes, sir.
I am Dr. Kadam from Kumarswami College, Ausa. The question I have, that nowadays we see that government as well as so many NGOs and common peoples also in the urban areas, they are planting the plants which are not the local varieties.
Yes.
There are so many hybrid varieties we see, and these plants they are not sustaining in the nature for long time. So what do you think that in the program of planting new plants, whether the local varieties are good for the nature, or these varieties which are nowadays we see in the urban areas that are better for the nature?
Sir, the varieties which we are taking, that the responsibility is on forest department officers. If anyone is going to come forward and they suggest regarding the planting the trees, why always they try to water those plants species. If suppose summer time also there, if proper watering is not there, then also some species which can sustain, like that they are planting. So as per your suggestions, if some more people are going to suggest, we can just say this, convey this same thing to our forest department areas. Then they will of course look about this matter, sir. What I thought.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Hi, Dr. Kadam. I have also answer for your question. Actually, nowadays we are using the hybrid plants because most of them are going to lower the soil erosion, and they are more disease resistant rather than a few local plants. That's why government are the agencies are planting the hybrid plants. Before that, there was one more question from a person, that why should we not fold the food material in the newspaper? Now I just go through the simple Google search, and you will come to know that lot of chemical extracts are there. That is why FSSAI said that it may create some carcinogenic effects also, because it contains isobutyl phthalates.
Yes.
And so many other components are there, like N-butyl phthalates and sulfoxides, so many binders and additives. You must not use newspaper to roll the food material or the chapatis in the lunch boxes, as we are doing from so many days. So these were the answers of the two questions. the ma'am's lesson or everything was so good. But he was saying that we are having the 3R community. Nowadays we have been changed into 4Rs also. With the reduce, reuse and recycle, we are also using one word, and that is recreate. Try to recreate, yes, and that is R1R, that is the responsibility to create one more R, and that is the relationship between the nature and the nurture. That is what your topic was, nature and nurture. I thought that it must be something on psychological development of the child. When I came to know you are talking about these plants. So that's why we are using the two types of bins in each and every area. One is green and one is blue. We must be aware that all biodegradable substances, we have to diffuse them in the green bins as we are using them as compost, or we are using them in compost pit to frame the compost that is termed as the black diamond of nowadays. And one is non-biodegradable. You said that stop plastic. That is not basically to stop plastic. That is to use the poly word. The poly is a substance we use in the chemicals. Means lots of. Like polythene means ethane. Lots of branches of the ethane we are using and forming the polythene. So we must take care of our environment. One word ma'am used, I was listening to you very carefully, as this is one of the latest topic as Prime Minister is also talking. The conservation of energy. The conservation of energy is dependent on 4 P's, as we were talking about 4 R's. The 4 P's are the planning, pacing, prioritizing and positioning. That is why High Court has given the order to frame rainwater harvesting system at each and every government offices. And in Delhi we are using a lot of these projects nowadays. And nature conservation, more important than nature conservation is the word is value your conservation, value your nature. And how do you value anyone? हम अपने घर में कैसे सबको वैल्यू करते हैं? Just to protect. So same with the nature also. We have to protect it, we have to preserve it, and we have to restore its biodiversity. These are the 3 new terms which we are using. Ma'am has also talked about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. The basic 2 points we have included in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan 8 years back. That was first told by, although it was a very you can say not a new term, Gandhiji has also given years back, but on 15th of August from the Red Fort, Prime Minister said that the 2 basic components of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan are the sanitation, means how to improve the sanitation, and second is waste management. Again we come to the conservation of the or nurture the nature, that is the waste management. And for what? Basically to ensure the hygiene. सारी दुनिया में नाम था कि 60% हम काम क्या कर रहे हैं हमारे पास, we are running with the open defecation system, ODS. अब हमने we have just closed it. That's why now is the time to provide these knowledge to our kids. What we do is sometimes we choose the tough path because we feel that's to achieve some important thing. It's very much important to go on the tough path. But sometimes it's in our hands. हम कोई भी चीज बहुत आराम से कर सकते हैं. The one who are here, I think this time we 29 people are here. So try to have 2 color bins at your place. That is green bin and blue bin. We all are well enough कि we can purchase these 2 bins at our place. And 1 brown bins we are also including in the markets for the dry or the something they are disposing in the markets. So just go with this. Everything was perfect. The topic was too lengthy, but you have tried a lot. So young. All the best to you. God bless you.
Thank you, Sukriti ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sukriti ma'am. Now, is there anybody else with any doubt or question or any suggestion? Please wonderful and informative speech by the Honorable Keynote Speaker and questions from Honorable Vidyasagar Sir, Dr. Badiuddin Sir and Supriti Ma'am. Because of answers, we have got lot of information, and because of suggestions, we have got more added knowledge. So after this keynote speech and questions and answers, I would like to request Chief Organizer and Chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar Sir, for concluding words. Please sir, welcome.
Thank you, Professor Karar Sir, and today's respected resource person, Meraj Fatima Madam, all the organizing team committee members including Vice Principal SD Misal Sir, IQC coordinators Dr. Sanjay Kale Sir, Dayanand Patwari Sir, Anil Wadkar Sir, Dhole Madam, Dr. Professor K.N. Kadam Sir, Prashant Ugade Sir, Jamontrao Kadam Sir, Badduddin Ahmed Sir, Supriti Madam, Jalvir Sir, Principal Chaudhary Sir, Sonone Sir, Nilima Dikshit Madam, all the resource persons, those who are joined here. Today we were listening from more than 1 hour about the nature, the nature. Right, starting from the definition, how the nature should be nurtured, how it should be care should be taken, what are our responsibilities, which factors are affecting on the environment, how the medicinal plants are supportive to us to take the care of our health, and after corona, before corona, what are the effects of that nature, how we need oxygen from others and what are our responsibility. All these things are very perfectly explained by the Meraj Fatima Madam, who is Department of Botany. So her teaching subject is also botany, so that it is more nearer to the nature, and what practices they have adopting in their school campus, college campus, it's are also appreciable. Also you have awarded with so many awards. So congratulations to you madam for joining here with a topic which is related to all of us, those who are joined here or maybe watch the link on other time. Thank you madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bedkar sir. Thank you so much, sir, for giving me a wonderful opportunity. I would like to congratulate all the organizing team committee members for completing their golden jubilee of the college. Once again, thank you, sir, Bedkar sir. I am very much thankful to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meraj Fatima. It was very wonderful to listen to you, because my subject is not botany, but the entire complete 1 hour I have spent and I learned a lot. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
थैंक यू बदरुद्दीन अहमद सर, आपने हर दिन के जैसा आज भी क्वेश्चन पूछा है, क्योंकि नेचर सबके लिए एक विषय है और आपने उसमें जो कुछ केयर होना है उसके बारे में आपने पूछा है. थैंक यू. और हमारे प्रोफेसर के.एन. कदम सर, जिन्होंने हाइब्रिड वैरायटी क्यों प्लांट यूज़ कर रहे हैं आजकल, इसके बारे में क्वेश्चन अच्छा पूछा है. एक बार मेरा एक अनुभव मैं शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. एक ऐसी हवा छुट्टी थी, तो ऐसे रोड साइड के 2-4 पौधे गिर के रोड पे गिरे थे, तो देखिए तो उसकी जो रूट्स है तो बहुत ऊपर थी. तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये जो फास्ट ग्रोइंग वैरायटी है इसके रूट अंदर नहीं जाते ज़मीन तक और वो बहुत डेलिकेट रहते, खाली ग्रीन और वैरायटी अर्ली होने के लिए उसमें कुछ ताकत भी नहीं है. तो ऐसे प्लांट जल्दी हरियाली आने के लिए वो लगाते होंगे. जैसे अपने पुराने पेड़ है वो लगाए तो 50-50, 30-30 साल तक उसका बेनिफिट नहीं मिलता, ऐसे उनको लगता होगा. कोई बात नहीं, सभी कोई हम सोच रहे हैं कि अच्छा हो अपना नेचर, सभी हेल्दी रहे और अपना एनवायरनमेंट अच्छे रहे, सुशिक्षित अशिक्षित सभी ने इसका ध्यान देना चाहिए. थैंक यू मैडम. थैंक यू बद्रुद्दीन अहमद सर.
Now on behalf of the organizing committee, Shri Kumarswami College Ausa, I am here for the presentation of vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank Honorable Speaker Meraj Fatima Ma'am, who has accepted the invitation of our college and delivered a very nice lecture on the topic Nurture Nature. On this topic, I would like to quote some lines, and these are like this: that it is time for us to save humanity and also the nature, and so we can say that kill ill will and grow goodwill, kill ill will and grow goodwill, nurture nature and hope for the best future. Unless we have goodwill and unless we nurture the nature, we cannot have the best future. So it is the responsibility of all of us to nurture nature and also humanity. So I thank ma'am for your elaborate and illustrative lecture. And now I thank the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, Honorable Principal Dr. M. Bedkar sir, that he is making a lot of efforts and he is gathering different topics for all of us so that we can listen the keynote speeches, we can discuss, and we can try to get some answers, solutions which can benefit all. So thank you sir on behalf of the organizing committee. And I also thank the participants who are the main part, central part of this webinar series, who are attending webinars very regularly, listening very patiently, and asking questions and doubts and giving suggestions, because of which all of us are enriched about different topics. So thank you participants, because you are the one behind the success of this webinar series. I also thank Dr. Anita Dhole ma'am, who has given a very good introduction of today's honorable speaker. And now I would like to request participants, if you have not filled the feedback link, please fill it to have your certificate. And at the end, with the permission of the chief organizer and chairperson of this webinar series, I announce here that today's webinar is over. Thanks to all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.